All right, sort of provocative topic today, and this is actually something that I fought for a long time, and I don't think it's something that actually applies to everyone, like all of you listening, but it does apply to me, because I am one of those church people who just does a lot of church things. Like my whole personality and life and schedule kind of revolves around, like if you ask me, for the most part, like, Zach, what do you like to do? Like, how do you spend your time? Like, I like to pray and to do ministry, and I just spend a lot of my time at the church, and I work for the church. So just a lot of my time is revolving around church stuff. And there are definitely a lot of people who are very actively engaged in a life of prayer and in their church, and do a lot of just like ministry related things, like the extra church people, the ones who do like everything at your church. Oftentimes the case may be that that's their entire personality. That's all that we do. What I'm not going to say is that being extra churchy and praying a lot and doing a lot of ministry is a bad thing. Absolutely not. That would go against like basically all the videos that I make and everything that I talk about, and like my own personal life and the way that I go about things. But what I will say is there is a lot of benefit to having some other hobbies and interests. And I will actually say that in order for us as lay people, especially like not consecrated men and women, religious or priests or things like clergy, for us living in the world, I think it is actually part of our responsibility in matters of personal apostolate and evangelization and like spreading the faith to other people to have other interests that are not church related. A few reasons for this. One of them, like most apostolate and evangelization focused, is that if the only circle that you ever run in is your little church circle, then you live in this like Christian jacuzzi where all the people that you interact with are already churched, are already evangelized. So you have no opportunity to reach more people with the gospel. So to be able to have more outside interests gives you more space and more circles of influence to be able to reach people. And if you have more things that you're interested in that you just like to do, it is easier to invite other people into your life for kind of incarnational evangelization. So like say I met someone who I was just like, man, I would love to invest into this person and growing their faith. Like there needs to be a bridge of trust built with people before we can really dive deep into faith conversations. So easier places to meet people at are just like very natural, not church related things. Like if you have hobbies, like, hey man, you want to go, I love playing board games, you want to go play board games, or I love going rock climbing, you want to go rock climbing, or just other things that are maybe more accessible for other people. Or on the flip side, having other interests that maybe someone else enjoys, where you can meet someone where they're at, like someone who really loves going to play basketball, like, oh yeah, dude, I love playing basketball, let's go play sometime. It's much easier to meet people there. But also just for us personally, like burnout is a whole nother thing. We can make a different video about like, is burnout really a thing, and what are maybe the causes of things that lead to the experience of what we might call burnout. But there is something to novelty and something to having some amount of balance in our lives where there's just like multiple different interests. That if like something is going poorly in one avenue of my life, I have other things that are bringing me joy, or other things that I can spend some time on, or just places to kind of escape when the pressures of this avenue of my life begin to build up. So I think it's just good and healthy to have a few other outside interests as well, but also for the sake of like, especially if we are like really church people, like part of what it means to be a church person who's like really apostolate and evangelization focused is like the need to have outside hobbies, because that actually makes your ability to engage in apostolate with lay people in the world more effective, because you can meet them in secular spaces. So if you're one of those people like me for very much my life, and probably still a little bit right now, just haven't had many hobbies and maybe don't even know where to start, of like, I just don't really even know what I like or what I would like to do, then maybe start with this. Here's step one, is to just make a list of all the things that you have enjoyed doing before, or maybe would enjoy, or maybe would consider that you could enjoy but have never done, but you just don't choose to spend enough time doing them. Like maybe it's something like, here's one for me, like I really like playing basketball. I never make the time to play basketball but I would like it and I would enjoy it. I played basketball a bunch growing up, but I just never make the time to do it. That could be a hobby of mine. I just don't choose to spend the time on it. And I can make, and I've done this before, I can make a list of a bunch of things that like, I don't know, like painting is not something I really love to do, but I guess I kind of enjoy it every so often. Just add it to the list of just different things that you can think of. Just maybe even Google search like lists of hobbies and things and just be like, I think I might like that one. I've done that every so often and it's okay. Just start making a list of them and then begin to pick out some of the things you're like, I could benefit from, or this is something that I could see myself spending a little time on and developing it as an interest. Another framework for this that I've like read about and I've seen online is this like 5 hobbies rule. And I don't actually buy this all the way, and I don't think it's like a necessary thing by any means, but maybe it helps us to come up with different types of hobbies or interests that we could have. So this like 5 hobbies rule is the idea that everyone should, and I don't know if I totally agree with this, but everyone should have like 5 hobbies that they develop in these 5 different categories. 1 hobby to keep you active, 1 to keep you creative, 1 that could make you some money, 1 that will build your knowledge. And the 5th one they say is 1 to evolve your mindset, which is like way too new age. And I'm going to replace that with 1 that is relational, that you can do with other people, because why that's not on the list, I don't know. But 1 to keep you active, 1 to keep you creative, 1 to make you some money, 1 to build your knowledge, and 1 to be relational. That just kind of provides some different categories that you can think of. And there may be different types of hobbies. And I don't think you need to have like 1 in each category, but it just helps to think through of like, well, here are the different types of things and they benefit us in different ways. Like being active benefits me in a different way than like being in high quality social relationships and so on. So maybe I'll do that. Just like start making a list of different potential hobbies that you have enjoyed, could enjoy. Maybe that framework is, again, don't have to do all 5 of them, but maybe just helps you think of like different types of hobbies that you could do. But kind of last thing I'll say on this is what we're getting to with the idea of hobbies and interests and types of activities to do is the idea of leisure, which is just being able to kind of rest and to do things not for the sake of them being productive or effective in any way, but just because they are good, and being able to just enjoy a thing for its own sake, that it is good. This is part of what we are made for as human beings. When God looked at the world and he saw that it was good and he rested. Like this, if we are made in the image of God, then part of what our life means is that we are not constantly working or doing things for the sake of effectiveness or productivity or accomplishment, but that we can enjoy the good things that we have been given. And they allow for us to encounter other people in a greater way and maybe to learn a little bit more about ourselves and to rest and not feel like we have to accomplish everything. And especially the idea of rest in developing hobbies, in that like, the world will not collapse if I am not constantly on my game and being the most productive and effective person. Like it's okay to spend some time developing some just other hobbies or interests that really, maybe don't immediately make the world a better place or have some impact on other people, but that could. Like this is the other like kind of joyful thing and maybe the consoling thing for if there's anyone out there like me, that like these hobbies and interests, when we develop them for ourselves, can be ways that we can encounter other people and give witness to invite other people into our lives as well. So if you're an extra churchy person like me, maybe today is a good day to start thinking of, especially now in the summer. Maybe if you have more time, maybe you don't. But today would be a great day to think of different ways that the Lord could bless you with other little, small leisure hobbies and interests in your life.